It's that time of the year again when African music fans take to social media to protest Burna Boy being snubbed at the Grammys in favor of a less impactful record or artist. It's become a norm for the discourse around how the global music categories at the Grammys aren't expansive or inclusive enough, and as a result, some people are calling for an awards ceremony solely focused on African musical achievements, like the Latin Grammy Awards, created in 1997 by the National Academy of Recording Arts and Sciences, the organization that produces the Grammy Awards, which, according to organizers, was established as the Latin music universe was deemed too large to fit into the Grammy Awards. The question becomes, in light of African artists being overlooked by the Grammys, whether African artists need a Grammy Award. Writing for music in Africa, Oris Agbokev Bolo writes, talking about the Grammys is talking politics, and invariably the question from non-enthusiasts of the award is whether Africa needs the Grammys. It doesn't, but it wants it. He adds, so while it's necessary that African countries develop their own credible award systems, it must be said that the desire for a Grammy as expressed by African artists is a legitimate one. The assumption is that African acts are seeking Western validation, but this is wrong. African acts are after global inclusion and recognition. However resonant this sounds, the conversation around African artists gunning for the Grammys is something that refuses to quiet down, especially during awards season. Social media tends to become awash with fans' outcry. Last year, British supermodel Naomi Campbell joined the conversation by calling out the Recording Academy for snubbing Nigerian artist Wizkid's album Made in Lagos, and for overall not properly recognizing the Afrobeats genre. It seems to me that in the conversation about African musicians being recognized and celebrated through award ceremonies, not many people talk about the fact that there was a time when Africa had her own Grammy equivalent awards show that pulled over 700 million viewers across 6 continents, with one artist winning $1 million. In the mid-90s, Beninois businessman Ernest Adjovi and current Namibian president Hage Geingob dreamed of a Pan-African event that would honor excellence in African music. The dream was, according to Ghana Web columnist Eugene Owusu, to primarily unite the whole of Africa and the African diaspora through music and the arts, and also to produce a world-class television show that portrayed a positive image of Africa. Coupled with this, they wanted to wean our musicians off Western awards and not to go about seeking validations from the Grammys, etc. This dream resonated with many African leaders, including the late Nelson Mandela, who was very involved behind the scenes to ensure its success. The KORA Awards were first awarded in 1996, with winners including Papa Wemba, Miriam Makeba, and Yusundo. The KORA Awards have been held on the continent 11 times since its founding. The awards ceremony took place in South Africa for the first 10 years, between 1996 and 2005. In 2010, it moved to Burkina Faso, and in 2012 to Côte d'Ivoire. The biggest prize of $1 million was awarded to the Artist of the Year, changing their lives as a result. The KORA success was undeniable. It was a show that had the whole world watching. For one night, all eyes were on Africa. Our many cultures were on full display, with some of the most dazzling performances that have ever graced the continent. The awards also served as an important recognition of the African music industry's evolution and growth over the years. It provided an opportunity for African music to be heard on a global stage. It also facilitated the exchange of African music with other cultures and provided a platform for African artists to make their mark in the international music market. Through the KORA Awards, African music has been able to reach a wider audience, increasing its exposure, helping to create a more diverse and inclusive music industry. It was iconic in every sense of the term, introducing the world to artists such as Keisha, Kadianin, Valian Balo, Tufesi Debia, and many, many more. According to Kevin Adesi, writing for Modern Ghana, since its inception, KORA has awarded a total of 160 trophies to artists from 35 nations across the Caribbean, Europe, Africa, and the United States. In 2000, the KORA Awards commenced on a social responsibility drive and set out to raise funds for organizations fighting the scourge of HIV and AIDS. Back then, KORA Awards also focused its funds on raising efforts to prevent malaria, a disease that is responsible for claiming the lives of over 1 million on the African continent. Until it didn't.
Defendant shall repay the amount of Namibian dollar 23,506,234 Namibian dollars to the plaintiff. 2. Defendant shall pay interest on...
In December 2015, followed by a launch event in May of the same year, Namibia was announced as the host country for that year's KORA edition. The ceremony was postponed to March 2016 allegedly due to difficulties in securing the venue, the large size of the production team, and the complexity of importing and setting up a special stage prop from South Africa. Meanwhile, Ernest Adjovi was paid 23.5 million Namibian dollars, which at the time was equivalent to 1.6 million American dollars. There was no award ceremony. As a result, the Namibia Tourism Board took the matter to the Namibian High Court, where Judge Herman Huisteisen ordered Ernest Adjovi to reimburse the money. There have been more than 7 postponements since the award ceremony began, and the scandals attached to the founder and his company, Manjel Telecom, meant that the public and artists alike began losing interest in the KORA Awards. According to an article by Wanda Gushu for the Namibian, trouble started in 2000 when the event was held at Sun City in South Africa. Some of the big names in the music industry, such as the late Miriam Makeba and Ringo Madlingozi, had to pay for their own accommodation and transport. He adds, the late Jabu Kanile and the group Bongo Muffin refused to collect their awards, protesting what they called shoddy organization. In 2010, for instance, after winning the KORA Award for Best African Reggae Act, Best African Artist, and Best Music Video Director, King Wadada, P-Square, and Drew Dokoye, respectively, did not receive their prize money. The duo P-Square went on to launch a campaign calling for the boycott of the awards. According to the Namibian, in 2008 and 2009, 2 Nigerian states paid Ernest Adjovi more than $10 million between them in order to have the privilege to host the event, which allegedly led to his arrest in 2011. That dispute caused the ceremony to be postponed 5 times in the year. As of the making of this video, Ernest Adjovi has allegedly not reimbursed the Namibia Tourism Board, and as a result of that and many other scandals, the KORA fizzled out to this day. I grew up watching the KORA Awards. I can still recall the prestige that the award held. I remember when Kofi Olomide called himself Quadra KORA Man after swooping 4 awards in one night. Wura Son's legendary Gaff, and Brenda Fassie's iconic sing-along with Nelson Mandela. Long before we could talk about the MTV African Music Awards or the All African Music Awards, there was the KORA Awards. There was a time Africa put on the best outfit and sang to the world. There was an iconic awards ceremony and moments I will continue to cherish to this day. Hey everybody, thank you so much for making it to the end of the video. Let me know in the comment section below if you remember the KORA Awards, and if you like this type of content, feel free to subscribe, like, and share it with someone you love. I appreciate you being here. Until next time.